Today, I want to discuss a comparatively little-known 23c new feature that may be more important than many people have realized. It's a SQL enhancement, the multi-value insert. There are numerous SQL enhancements in Release 23. I've listed the ones I see mentioned most often as being really important here. First, the Boolean data type. That's one that many people are very excited about. Fair enough. It is part of the SQL standard, and I'm sure developers will find it useful. Secondly, being able to use column aliases in a group by clause in the same way that you can use them in order by clauses is nice and will make some code a lot more readable and easy to write. Thirdly, select without from seems an odd one to me. It isn't part of the SQL standard, and I suspect that it's only there to provide greater compatibility with some third-party databases. Furthermore, if you trace it, you'll see that under the covers, the optimizer is actually rewriting any such statements to add a from dual clause. So you run select sysdate semicolon, Oracle runs select sysdate from dual. Fourthly, if not exists, that clause will tidy up a lot of log files by suppressing lots of warnings. And then the last one, the one I want to talk about, the multi-value insert. I haven't seen much about this. It seems to have been largely ignored by most new features reviews. So I decided to take a good look at it. And I think it's pretty useful. Not only a syntax enhancement, but also a performance booster. The syntax of the multi-value insert is straightforward. This example, which I've copied from the docs, is inserting 3 rows. First, the traditional method, which is 3 insert statements. In 23c, we have this equivalent SQL, 1 insert statement, which has 3 sets of values. How significant is that? Well, I started thinking about performance. Surely 1 statement is going to perform better than 3. However, I was surprised at just how much better. My test case for this little demonstration is based on this very simple table. Create table if not exists, speed test, C1 number, C2 varchar 2. Now I'm going to create a procedure that will insert rows in the traditional manner. Create or replace procedure single value insert, single insert as begin, for I in 50,000 loop. And then I've got 10 insert statements, insert into speed test values, and so on, up to 10. So within the loop, I'm inserting 10 insert statements, 50,000 iterations, 500,000 rows in all. Then a second procedure, and this one inserts the same 500,000 rows, but using the new syntax. Create or replace procedure multi-insert as begin for I in 1 to 50,000 loop, and I'm iterating just a single insert statement. Insert into speed test values, and then the set of 10 values clauses. So the end result is going to be identical to this one. Procedure created. I'm going to start a fresh session. You'll see why shortly. To reconnect as Scott. Now, this query I'm going to be using later. What this does is show 2 important session statistics. It'll show the values accumulated since the session began. Select name value from VDOL or stat name, join VDOL or MyStat using sysdict hash, where name in redo size undo change vector size. And this is telling me that since I logged on here, I've generated basically minimal amount of redo, minimal amount of undo. We'll see why I'm recording this shortly. Now I'll run the procedure that does 500,000 traditional inserts. Exec single insert. Nearly 6 seconds to put in the 500,000 rows. I'm going to do it again to make sure I really am getting repeatable results. So I'll reconnect and run it again. Yes, pushing 6 seconds. And I'll just get the figures for undo and redo. At about 135 megabytes of redo, about 34 megabytes of undo. Now let's try the multi-value insert. I'll reconnect, that's Scott, and execute the procedure that uses the multi-value syntax. 1.16 seconds. That was about, 4 or 5 times as fast. Let's repeat, just to be sure that wasn't a fluke. Reconnect. Do it again. Again, about 4 or 5 times as fast. Yes, it's a repeatable result. And now I'll check the undo and redo generated. And we see some dramatically different figures. Instead of 135 megabytes of redo, it's only 21 megabytes. Instead of 34 megabytes of undo, it's less than 5 megabytes. That's a huge difference, and could perhaps explain some of the performance change. To conclude, I have to say that this was not a very scientific test. I have no idea if that dramatic performance improvement would go through to production code. However, it is clear that multi-value insert is a lot more than a minor syntax enhancement. It appears to boost performance significantly and to take a lot of stress off the undo and redo mechanisms. Also, there's a lesson to learn that even the most trivial new features do warrant investigation. They may be more important than many people think.
If you liked this video, please like it and subscribe to our channel.